was respecting that, and then also that they do well against RapM historically on Stadium.
I think the Y state is better for the proximity playing it. The lack of transfer. Perfect. He also just dies on the top. You can just kind of laser. Luigi's fast, but like I don't. The reason why FD, not because.
Yes, not because of the neutral. It's because of the punish.
Yeah.
Specifically the chain grab. Yeah.
And he also had like he has a bad time getting. Boxes out. Just like.
Yeah, and sometimes it can actually be safer to shark underneath the stadium platform than it is on FD, because it makes it so that Luigi can only down air after a certain, before a certain point. So you can kind of do that short hop up air and kind of try to win that trade because he can't fast fall down air because he'll just land. Grilling him frame 1. But yeah, so Khryke versus RapM. RapM is, I don't think that he has lost to Khryke. Like we were talking about earlier, I don't think it's been since Cave was still a thing. So that's been a minute now. That's been over a year, as the Grotto number would tell us. And you know, it's hard. It's hard to be ready because you know Rap plays against Melon all the time. Rap plays against BS a decent amount too. And Khryke, I feel like, does not get that same amount of practice. So, you know, it's tough. I think that they were talking about something after the game. I couldn't quite make out what they were talking about, but RapM was actually giving Khryke some advice, which, you know, if Khryke wins this set, then, you know, we'll see. I remember when Khryke beat Rap at that cave, everyone was like, they're figuring it out, an era has ended. Yeah, but then, like, I haven't played Marth vs. Rap in like a year, to be fair. I mean, that's why I said a good amount, because it has happened in the past. It doesn't really happen as much now. I'm sure Rap has also played Takeshi at some point. But what I'm trying to say is that it's easier to get top tier practice than it is to get mid tier practice. And so Khryke, someone who has not been entering as many tournaments as maybe they once did. So, whereas RapM is entering more than ever. So, you know. There's a bit of contrast there. We're at last stock, 69% to 0, but don't be fooled because RapM has made better comebacks against this player in this matchup on this stage. There was one time that RapM had like a 3 stock to 1 comeback on this stage against Khryke.
It ain't over until the bell's over.
Yes, and by the bell, Melania means the guy who goes game.
That is true. See, now
yeah, see, there it is. Now it's over.
That was the bell.
Ding, ding, ding. Anyone play Donkey Kong 64?
Once.
Yeah, the final boss of that game is funny because it's like a boxing match and you keep knocking King K. Rool on his ass, but then they keep saying that the round is over because they don't wanna admit that you won. But then at the end you cook him so hard that it just works. Why they randomly swap seats? I don't know. It might have been like a port thing. I don't know. I don't know why they swap seats.
Gamers like swapping it up.
Yeah, I've played against people who are like, I want this seat, is that okay? And I'm always like, man, you can have whatever you want. You can have the seat, you can have the port, we can go, you can strike first. Was the Marth sandbagging in winter semis? Now how he's dominating Luigi now? No, Khryke was not sandbagging in winter semis. If you recall, in winter semis, Khryke was actually on the cusp of a reverse 3-0. And the thing about reverse 3-0s is that it means that you have made some pretty big adaptations throughout the set, right? But then RapM was able to stifle it right at the end. So now that Khryke can go into this new set with those adaptations, they can do a lot better. Yes, no, I know.
Is it called? I thought they were called reverse, or is it called different?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Reverse sweep is a more general term. We just call it a reverse 3-0 just because, you know, that's what happens in a best of 5.
That's true.
And reverse sweep in a best of 3 is not as exciting because it just means that you won 2 games in a row instead of 3.
I mean, yeah, I don't count that. I already start counting.
Yeah, so, but that's what I'm saying. So because in our game, it's always that same 3-0, we just call it a reverse 3-0 because we already call a 3-0 a 3-0. So
true.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's fair.
But some people do say reverse sweep. Some people do say sweep. Some people say reverse sweep.
I mean, they both work. I'm not saying there's a problem with it. I'm just, my thinking is something different. I'm very tired. So I'm very.
You know, in Hua, in wrestling, they actually do pick what position they start in. Like that's their version of like you can strike first. Is like you can pick whether you're top.
Which kind of wrestling?
Like American wrestling.
Wait.
Like not like MMA, not anything like that. Just like
WWE?
No, not WWE. Like collegiate wrestling, like high school wrestling. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yes. You start, one is on top of the other, but the thing is, there's trade-offs to either one, right? Because being on top of someone in wrestling is good, because you're closer to a pin, but you get points for reversals, and you get points for getting out of bad positions. So if you start on the bottom, then you can actually get some points right off the start. Why did Marth leave ledge if Luigi was high? I don't know which edge guard you're talking about specifically, but like basically if Luigi is like really high up, then there's a chance that Luigi can just side B straight onto stage. So you leave ledge because you want to like cover for that option. Because if they go on stage and then you're still on ledge, you can get put in the corner. So I think that's why Khryke left ledge open. It's also just a little bit scary to deal with Luigi on the ledge, just because he's got big aerials that can make you get stage spiked. He's got the coin that can make you accidentally air dodge, all that kind of stuff. So Khryke might have just, wanted to play it safe. A little spot dodge battle there. I think it's a little scary seeing Khryke spot dodge because in the first set that got them killed a couple times. Oh, the wave effect forward smash wasn't far enough. Oh my god, this is so scary for both of them. Wow! That was Ben mode. That was Ben mode. Straight up. Anyone see those college wrestling videos where them dudes are literally just grabbing each other's dick and balls? I mean, okay, the thing about wrestling is like you're often trying to grab their leg, and so I think that it can just happen sometimes.
Question.
Yes.
So do you know how scoring? Because I've honestly never understood how scoring in wrestling works, but I understand if you have to.
So I don't know every like bit of scoring, but there's just like there are like a set list of things that get you points. So getting out of a reversal gets you points. Getting out of or getting someone into a certain position will give you points. It's stuff like that. But if you pin someone, then you win via submission. So if you don't get a pin, then it goes to points, which are determined by yeah.
I've never understood how it works. I've never had any idea.
Yeah. Why will he not go Dreamland again? I don't know, Ben. I can't explain that one. Striking is more realistic than grappling. Grappling should only be taught to polices or something. So, I think the thing about striking versus grappling is like the most realistic is that you do both. Because if you only know how to strike, like if you're a boxer and then someone just like tackles you, then like, that's going to be pretty bad, right? And if they get you in a chokehold and they can just like survive your punches for long enough, then there you go, they win. You can kind of you can see this in like under a microscope if you watch MMA. MMA, you are allowed to punch your opponent. However, grappling plays a huge part of the sport of fighting. So clearly grappling and striking kind of have a balance that you need to reach. Yes, Millennium.
What is grappling?
Grappling is like grabbing someone in a fight.
Okay, so
striking is like hitting someone, yes.
Okay,
yes.
I thought it was. I was like, do they actually grab each other? I've never watched. I don't know what. elevator.
Is it a cheat code to not shower for a week before wrestling to submit your opponents?
You're gonna annoy
So-
everybody else.
I think that they would be able to. I think that they would be able to bear through it, because I feel like with wrestling, like y'all are getting sweaty regardless.
That is
So, you know. Nice, the double forward tilt. All right, and RapM does need to win this game for his tournament life. If RapM does not win this game, then it's, you know, pack it up. Ask Safal to bring you home. Wait, disjointed what? Oh, yes. The Mario characters have a really big ECB box when it comes to grabbing ledge, yeah. I don't know. I think Luigi's is notably big. I think it's like Luigi, Dr. Mario, and then I think Game & Watch also has a pretty big one as well.
I'll say, from the little information I got, it's always in.
Facts. Well, 3-0, 3-2. I mean, in winners it was 3-2.
I saw all of them with one.
Well, but that doesn't count winners of this tournament.
Oh, that is. Wait, yeah, that was RapMonster.
Yes. I used to do wrestling and had to tap out versus this guy who smelled like unfettered piss. 0 out of 10 experience. I had to dry clean my uniform to get the smell out.
Ew.
So,
Disgusting.
I guess to answer your question, then yes, it is a cheat code then.
I was too much of a coward to do that, so I just played hockey.
Yeah, you can't even smell anything under all those pads. It is funny that like in terms of like sports where punching people is the most accepted, you got like MMA, you got boxing, and then you got a few other combat sports. But then after that, it's hockey by like a mile. Like you are not allowed to punch people in soccer, and in hockey, like low key, you kind of can.
I remember there was a kid once during a game that told me, supposed to be an insult, but it was honestly the biggest backhand that I've ever done in my life, and I loved it. Was I don't like you, but I don't want you to be on the other team because I very much hate the other team. Not like you.
That's fair.
But it was fun.
See, have you guys seen that clip of like, I don't remember which teams it was. I mean, it's happened a few times, but it's like they just like right at the game start, all 5 drop their gloves and just brawl. They just all fight each other right at the start of the game. Those clips are so funny because the refs just kind of have to take it. Like, what are they gonna do? They can't get in the middle of those guys. They're on skates. Too dangerous.
That and also football. I've seen plenty of refs tackle.
Yes. Yeah, RapMonster doing quite well here. Even though, honestly, the thing about FD is that this is a stage where it's kind of like a chain grab, where you are really focused on one kind of aspect to, you know, be the wedge to give you victory. But it's not like a chain grab where it's like all just guaranteed. What Marth's real advantage on this stage is the juggling game. But the thing about the juggling game is it's still always a mix-up, even if it's really good for Marth. So, and RapM's really good at that mix-up. And I feel like the other parts of the stage are like not that crazy good for Marth. Like, I think the space is like whatever. But I think that honestly, like, Marth can really crumble on this stage if you get him in the air. And it also limits his recovery and whatnot. Alright, and RapM up 2 stocks to 1 once again. Also, the recent sets thing is not entirely accurate because most of RapM's wins on Khryke were on Shalon. So their set record is much more in RapM's favor than it would seem.
Will it maintain? That's the question.
Who
I
knows?
mean, we're going to a game 5. We're going to a game 5.
We are going to a game 5. Also, I need to swap this shirt. Alright, we're going back. Khryke's the type to not stray from picking a stage just because they lost on it.
I can respect that. I was picking Gets to pick the map.
So the first game, the person who picks the map is, it's both of you. You both strike. Basically, you play rock paper scissors, or you can gentle into like, oh, you can do it first, whatever. And the way you strike is, say there's like player 1, player 2. Player 1 strikes one stage, player 2 strikes 2 stages, and then player 1 strikes another stage. There are 5 starter stages. So say, you know, there's Battlefield, FOD, Yoshi's, Stadium, and Dreamland, right? And say player 1 might be like, I want to strike Dreamland. And then player 2 is like, okay, well, I'll strike Yoshi's and Stadium. And then player 1 is like, alright, well, I'll strike FOD. So we're going to go to Battlefield. Then after that, it's whoever loses gets to pick the map.
Okay.
Peter, is rap like a mountain? Would you care to elaborate on that? Would you care to elaborate?
Oh my god, that's weird.
That down air is so brutal. The fact that it actually like can just go right over the up B and then just, you know, still just hit. I'll let my good friends Jungle Snipes speak for me about that. Jungle Snipes, would you like to speak for Peter? That wasn't really related to what we were talking about, but...
Ooh, which mountain? That's a good question.
Uh,
What's your favorite mountain?
my favorite mountain?
Or mountain range, if that you prefer. Because I don't have a favorite
So-
mountain, but I have a favorite range.
I don't know, like, I just, you know, I have to put respect on the GOAT Mount Everest, for sure. But I think that my favorite is probably that one that's, like, technically taller, but it's just, like, below sea level for most of it. You guys know what I'm talking about?
That is in the Mid-Atlantic Rift.
Yes, yes.
I'm blanking on the name of it.
K2?
No, K2 is the tallest mountain no one's climbed because it's so deadly. K2 is actually might be my favorite because of that fact. Also, I think maybe K2, I think K2 actually might also be the mountain that's sacred to, what is it? I forget what, it's like a sacred mountain, so no one's allowed to climb it. K2 goes hard. That's also in the Himalayas. I think my favorite mountain range, though, I am a bit of a homer. I like the Appalachians. I know it's just big hills.
Wow. Wrap him with the reverse 3-0.
I know Appalachian mountains are just big hills, but at the same time, I like the Blue Ridge.
I mean, what is a mountain if not a big hill?
That's true.
And,
finals now,
and you
right?
know, this is the thing, you know, and how do molehills play into this, folks? How do molehills play into the whole mountain debate?
I do not mind molehills. I think they're great.
No, it's not over. Day Tripper is still waiting in grand finals. So Day Tripper will be playing against RapM in grand finals.
That's next.
That is next, yes.
Question?
Yes.